In this video, we're going to talk about the differences between a pro photographer and an amateur photographer. And what do you need to do if you want to take your photography to another level. Welcome to the channel. My name is Charles Wollertz. This is Wollertz Photography. And in this channel, we talk about all things photography, usually with a little bit of stock photography in mind, because I think it is a great way to learn and practice, and again, take your photography to another level. Now, before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to all the channel members because your help and your support is amazing. Thank you to everyone that decided to become a channel member, and also to everybody that decided to take the step and learn a little bit more about photography through that photography course available to members as well. Now, I'm not going to wait till the end of this. I'm going to give you the key difference between a pro photographer and an amateur right now, and that is confidence. That's it. Confidence is what makes you a pro compared to an amateur. How you talk to people, how you approach someone, how you treat your photography is whether people are going to treat you like a pro or an amateur. What's the difference between selling a professional print or a snapshot? It's marketing. It's how you treat yourself. It's how other people see you. When I was a bartender, I knew nothing about wine, yet I was selling it, I was embellishing, I was lying, I was saying whatever people wanted to hear, and I would sell a ton of wine. Yes, once in a while, you had somebody that knew what they were talking about, and then I looked like an idiot. But for the most part, most people just want to know that you know what you're talking about. Recently, I went to buy an accessory for a propane tank. And the girl at the store was so confused about it that it scared me. I'm not gonna buy something from her. She has no idea what she's talking about. She wasn't confident. Now, yes, this is dangerous. You can be very confident and sell me the wrong product. But when we're talking about photography, it is very easy to become confident and have people treat you like a pro. Most of it is practice, which that's where stock photography comes into play, and knowing what you're doing with your camera, which again, it's all due to practice. Like I said before, I have a complete photography course that can guide you through all these lessons and how to be a better photographer for different situations. Now, let's get into the list because I have a list of things that I did a lot of research and I found the list of what makes you a pro compared to an amateur. Ready? Number one, consistency. Amateurs get good photos here and there, where a pro is gonna get great photos regardless of the situation. They know composition, they know camera settings, they know all of these different things that are gonna make a good photo regardless of where you're taking that photo. Now, the next one is technical mastery. Amateur usually relies on all your automatic or semi-automatic features, which is fantastic. That's a great way to treat your camera. But there's 10% of the time where you're gonna need manual settings, or you need to understand how your camera's behaving so that you can get the desired effect. Cameras do a fantastic job with the semi-automatic modes, but if you can adjust them to get the desired result, or lighting conditions or whatever, now you're gonna be treated like a pro. How about preparation? When I first started and I knew nothing about professional photography, I would just show up and did what I could. Now I take my time and I plan my shots. I take a little bit of extra time. What do I want to get? Angles, compositions, lighting. I take my time to plan and anticipate those needs. So preparation is key if you want to be treated like a pro. How about handling challenges? You know how many times I show up and one of my lights doesn't work, or the camera, something happens that now it's like, uh-oh, how do I deal with this? Amateurs are gonna quit. They're gonna know the lighting is not good enough, or my light doesn't work, let's reschedule. As a pro, you have to do the best you can with what you have. People can't reschedule as easily as we can. So taking those challenges and making the best out of that situation is really gonna help you become a professional photographer, or a professional in anything you wanna do. But being able to adapt is key. Okay, gear knowledge. This is not about having the most expensive lens out there or having the best camera out there with the most frames per second. If you're shooting landscapes, more frames per second is not gonna help you. If you're shooting sports, yes. But if you're shooting landscapes, it doesn't matter. If you're shooting food or still life, that's not gonna matter. So understanding the key differences between why this lens works best at f8 or f11, or that one works at f4, is really gonna help you get better images and, again, be treated like a professional. Just having the best of the best, or what you consider the best of the best, doesn't mean that it's adequate for that job. So understanding your gear is key to becoming a professional photographer. How about the business approach? Most amateurs just shoot, whatever. They don't care about a return customer or whatever. They're just doing favors or just do something for fun. But professionals treat it like a business. You have your insurance, you have your websites, you have everything you need to reach more clients and become a successful business. Amateurs don't care about business, but when you are trying to make a living with photography or at least a supplemental income, then you have to focus on the business aspect, which nobody wants to talk about because it's the boring stuff. Accounting, pricing, all of this stuff. If you want to be treated like a professional, you have to show your numbers. You have to show that you care about the business side of things and not just, oh, look at this pretty picture. Portfolio, and this is something I've always struggled with because as a stock photographer, my portfolio is everything. I mean, I have pictures of anything, pictures of Bambi, pictures of the cat, pictures of drinks and food and all this stuff. So I shoot a little bit of everything because it's what I like to do. The difference is when I approach a client or I send them a gallery to look at, it's usually specific. If I'm shooting for a restaurant or if I want to approach a restaurant client, I will have on my website a linked gallery that nobody else can see, but it's linking to my food and drink. So when I send the email or I go in person, I'm only going to show them my best of the best of my food and drink photos. That way, they're not distracted by landscapes or Bambi or anything else that they might not be interested in. So having specific real estate photos, you're fine if you want to shoot whatever you want, that's great. But when you approach a client, be specific with your portfolio. That way they know that you can do what you're saying you can do. How about client focus? This is something that, again, is very specific to a professional, somebody that's working. They want their clients to be happy, what the client's expecting. Again, when I started, when I was an amateur, I would just go and do the best I could without even asking. Now I ask for a shot list. I give them my parameters. What do you expect from me? What are you trying to get with these images? What are we representing? What's the feeling behind the photo? Like if it's even food or drink, what are we trying to do here? What type of marketing do you want to do? And then if I can exceed those expectations, chances are they're gonna call me back for return business. And then there's time management. Scheduling, having staying on top of your schedule, being able to deliver on your schedules. If I shoot a wedding and I say I'm 6 weeks out, well, they're gonna want to get those photos 6 weeks from now. If I shoot a restaurant and they tell me I need those photos tomorrow, my schedule is my schedule. If I can't do it tomorrow, I'll tell them up front. I'm not gonna lie and say, yes, you'll get them tomorrow, and then a week later deliver them. No, we all have schedules. We all have to treat this like a business if we wanna be successful and if we want customers to treat us like a business or like a pro and not an amateur. Okay, what's next? The last one here is income generation. You wanna make money from your photos. The moment you sell a photo, you became a professional photographer. Even if it was 10 cents in stock, you're making money from your photographs. Now, whether that's full-time job or a part-time income or just a supplemental income, the fact that you're making money from your photography makes you a professional. Again, there's probably gonna be arguments about this, but the moment you make money, you're a professional. That's when you gotta treat this a little bit differently. Most amateurs don't care. They'll just do a family shoot and get a couple $100. That's fine. They just use it as spending money or a new lens or something. But if you take the time and treat it like a business, I guarantee people are gonna treat you a lot better and even pay you a lot more. The prices have nothing to do with whether you're a professional or an amateur. It's how you treat the business. And like I said at the beginning, all of this is confidence. If you represent yourself, if you show up like you know what you're doing, even if you're faking it, fake it till you make it. There's a lot of people that do this, but know your limits, know your clients. I don't recommend over-promising and under-delivering. I recommend under-promising and over-delivering. Know your limits. Learning photography is super easy. There's tons of information online. I have a complete photography course that's gonna help you with different camera settings for different situations, commercial lessons, 50-something lessons that are really gonna help you understand your camera and get better at photography. There's other people that do similar stuff. You could find all that information here on YouTube. It's just that in mine, it's organized and is gonna help you understand more. I'm gonna put a link down below so you can go to the website and learn a little bit more about all this stuff. But literally, I have friends that are horrible photographers, but they know how to sell themselves, and that's what makes them professionals. I also have friends that are incredible photographers, but they lack the confidence, so people don't treat them like professionals. And that's the biggest key here, is to be confident about your work. That's why if you shoot stock, you'll gain experience, you'll gain practice, and you'll be much more comfortable with multiple situations. But anyway, I hope this gives you a little more understanding of what the difference is from a pro or an amateur, and what steps you need to take if you want to be treated like a pro. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.